Afternoon, I'm Thomas Byrne and this is Salford Now. Coming up on today's show, we tell the story of 2-year-old Dominic who needs surgery in Panama to be able to walk.
This is the only thing that we can try. There's nothing else that we can do.
We have the winner of Salford Citizen of the Year talking of how he helps disabled people take part in sport.
And I'm at Old Trafford, where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been given arguably the biggest job in world football. I'll be here with all the latest news on that and the rest of today's sport.
Our top story today, a mother from Salford is fundraising for her son to have stem cell treatment in Panama. Jill Rado hopes that it will allow her 2-year-old to one day take her first steps. Ellie Kemp reports.
Yay!
At the age of 1, Dominic was diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
Isn't there a link first and then it's his package?
That's what does allow him to walk. He's a normal toddler. He wants to do things that kids do at his age, but he can't.
Almost 2,000 children in the UK are diagnosed with cerebral palsy every year. There is no cure for the condition, but therapies are available on the NHS. Selective dorsal rhizotomy is also available, but surgeries are self-funded due to budget cuts.
Dominic is unable to have SDR surgery. This is where nerves in the back are severed to release muscle spasticity. Dominic is too young and his cerebral palsy isn't mild enough to be treated this way.
Jill is raising £25,000 for less invasive stem cell treatment in Panama.
We want the opportunity to be able to go and try this for him because it's the only thing that we can try. There's nothing else that we can do.
Blood cells from umbilical cords are injected into patients to help regenerate brain tissue. But there is little research in the UK to support these treatments.
This is a bit controversial, how those new neuronal cells are made. Especially in children up to 3 years of age, it's possible to make new neuronal cells from the brain cells they already have. So is it coming from the patient's own cells, or is it what we are injecting is making new neuronal cells? This is not yet clearly known.
Either way, for Dominic, this means that he might be one step closer to taking his very first.
Now, following all the Brexit drama this week, we sent out our reporter Jo Rindle to find out how Salford residents are feeling as we prepare to exit the EU.
Almost 3 years ago, the UK voted in favour of leaving the European Union. Yet the original departure date of the 29th of March has been delayed and the government is still searching for a way forward. Salford voted to leave by 14 percentage points, and across the region, many, including Johnny Delaney in Lower Broughton, are feeling irritated and out of touch with Westminster.
In 2016, I voted to remain because I feel like that would have been best for the country at the time. But seeing as more people voted to leave the EU, I feel like that would be the best thing for the country to do at the moment.
But Johnny, do you think MPs are doing enough to deliver Brexit?
No, I feel like they're not doing enough. I feel like they all just sat down in a room squabbling with each other, and it should make them sit in a room until they get it all done and sorted before they can leave.
Prime Minister Theresa May has told MPs to back her deal to avoid delaying Brexit. But her deals have twice been heavily defeated in the House of Commons. With politicians divided, what are the alternatives? One of those options is a second vote, a rerun of the referendum if you like, and a petition for that has already received 5 million signatures, and 9,000 of them come from the Salford and Eccles constituency. That's 9% of the constituents. But critics say that these petitions are easy to manipulate and that a second referendum would be undemocratic. Decisions on Brexit may be being made 450 miles away in Brussels, but Salford residents are already feeling the effects.
Well, my main worry is that I did plan to move abroad in the future, but now it looks like I'm going to have to put all that on hold now because of all the uncertain future and everything that's going to happen.
It looks like the Brexit saga is set to continue then, but Salford residents feel like they're being put out to dry.
And Joe joins us in the studio now. Joe, where is Brexit right now?
Well, that is the big question, of course, isn't it, Tom? Right now, well, we haven't got any further. Of course, we're supposed to leave this time tomorrow on the 29th of March, but that has since been delayed to the 22nd. The problem is MPs in the Houses of Commons can't decide on the type of Brexit they want, if any Brexit at all. And the PM has already set 2 different deals, and both of them have been rejected really heavily. Now, she's got permission to go with another one tomorrow, but of course, if that gets rejected, we don't know what will happen. She has said to her own MPs of the Tory party that if that one actually goes through, then she will step down, which could prompt people to vote for it, and we could finally see a breakthrough.
And what about Salford MP Rebecca Long-Bailey? How did she vote?
Well, of course, it's a difficult situation for Mrs Long-Bailey because she campaigned for the Remain side, but she represents a Leave constituency. She has really backed the Labour corner here. Of course, she's part of the shadow cabinet and she's voted with Jeremy Corbyn.
Joe, thank you very much. And now for a different view on Brexit and the world's problems. At Media City UK for a 90s style workout with music from BBC Philharmonic. The session included a fun-packed motivational exercise class of all ages and abilities.
Yeah, there you pick up the front pages of every newspaper and what's on there. It's all about doom and gloom and Brexit and all that nonsense. At the end of the day, good news stories need to start heading towards the front page because we all need to feel better about ourselves.
A man has been arrested in connection with 3 attacks that occurred following confirmed meetings on online dating app Grindr. The latest attack occurred on Tuesday on Bolton Road, Pendlebury, where a man in his 20s was threatened and stabbed in his car after the attacker demanded for the car keys. The police are appealing for users to come forward if they have any information. With Salford recording the 2nd highest level of homelessness in the northwest, a homeless shelter in Eccles has had to open an overflow shelter to cope with the demands.
After facing an uncertain future, the Saving People shelter in Eccles has had a brief extension to keep hold of its current accommodation. But after the increase in demand in the area, they've had to open an overflow shelter.
There's not enough room at the other place. You get too many people in there, people start to get a bit more friction between each other. Not everybody gets on with each other, so we've divided people that don't get on with each other as well into this building.
The new shelter currently houses 4 people and are still expecting more. The shelter take in and help those struggling with mental health issues and other issues, including drug and alcohol abuse.
The building was empty for 9 years before it became this shelter. And that is a long time for a building to sit idle. As you can see around you, we've got people cleaning up. It is a home. It's not just somewhere that people come and doss down.
Both shelters are still fighting to keep their accommodation open after numerous threats of eviction. They say the support in both shelters is essential for the people they house and is carried on even after people move on into their own home.
We really have created a family here, and every time somebody hits a barrier, everybody else pulls them through it. So people are getting well again, people are getting better again, and I think that it's a model that we can recreate in other areas of Manchester.
With the petition started, with hopes that the shelters can both stay open, spirits remain high here in Eccles.
And that was Rhiannon Heyman reporting there on Salford Now. A scheme in Salford to get disabled people involved in sport has seen its creator named Salfordian of the Year. Ben Andrews came up with Empower You to make physical activity more inclusive across the city. Carrie Morris has been to meet him.
Physical activity for disabled people is becoming more accessible, thanks to the work of this year's Salford Citizen of the Year award winner, Ben Andrews, who has set up the Empower You project.
Empower You is a project which supports disabled people to engage in any physical activity within the community, so making reasonable adjustments to those environments or places to enable a person to attend independently.
Without the support of the project, these people might not otherwise manage to participate.
Do you enjoy it here?
Yes, I do like it, yeah.
It's really good. I really enjoy it. There's a real lack of association between disabled people and physical activity. What Salford have done is take a proactive role in supporting a more inclusive community for disabled people through supporting Empower You.
Community projects like these are contributing towards Sports England's aim to remove inequalities that exist for disabled people in sport and physical activities. Sport England's provision has benefited many, including Great British paracyclist and double world champion John Gilday.
In 2012 I got a tattoo of the date on my arm there when I went out on the mountain bike and badly broke my leg. Parasport in this country and facilities like this and the infrastructure that's in place make it a lot easier to get involved in sport if you have got a disability than ever before. That's the great thing about what UK sport have done with lottery funding, and across all sports there is the option of getting involved, whether it be climbing or cycling or rowing or whatever else.
Maybe one day Empower You will produce one of Salford's very own sporting world champions. Carrie Morris, Salford Now.
We now head to Old Trafford where our sports editor Ollie Thorpe joins us. And Ollie, some massive news from Old Trafford. Apparently Ollie's at the wheel.
Yes, Tom, I'm here at the home of Manchester United where this morning the news emerged that Norwegian manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has signed a 3-year deal at the club. The 46-year-old has enjoyed a successful spell as interim manager. He's lost only one of his 13 league games so far, and United lie only 2 points off a Champions League spot. Solskjaer became the first man to win his first 6 league games in charge, surpassing a record held by the legendary Sir Matt Busby. United have also enjoyed European success, having reached the quarter-finals of the Champions League for the first time since 2014. Fans have been reacting to today's news.
I mean, if you look at the point gap, it was 11 points before Christmas when he took over, and now we're basically fighting for 4th place now, so I think he's definitely earned it, for sure.
Yes, been doing a great job since he came here as a manager, so I think he deserves a chance to lead the team.
I would have left it till the end of the season. Let's
Yeah?
see what happens. Because if we don't get in the Champions League and we finish 6th or 7th, what's going to happen
Now to
then?
cricket, and there was a special visitor down the road at Emirates Old Trafford on Monday, and I went along to see what happened.
The ICC Cricket World Cup, the largest cricket tournament in the world, which is known for its huge hits, fast bowling, and sublime catches.
UAE faced a real challenge.
This is the prize that everyone will want their hands on come July the 14th, and guests of Lancashire Cricket enjoyed breakfast with the trophy at the 155-year-old home of the club and listened to speakers including the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, and Lancashire Cricket CEO Daniel Gidney, who spoke about the tournament's impact on the Greater Manchester area.
Economic impact for the tournament for this region is in excess of 30 million. For the next 6 years, our international games will be worth over £100 million. The importance of these major events cannot be underestimated. The economic spend, hotels, restaurants, flights, it's fantastic. It brings a huge number of visitors into the country, and specifically for Manchester.
Former England player Phil de Freitas played in 2 World Cup finals and has fond memories of his experiences.
Oh, they're incredible memories. You know, sort of you think back and think, wow, you know, playing 2 World Cup finals. The only sad bit about it is, you know, you runners up to it and not winning it. It's a special occasion, and to be able to play for your country in 2 World Cup finals, 1, but to play in 2, it's an incredible achievement, really.
Emirates Old Trafford will play host to 6 matches in this year's ICC Cricket World Cup, including a semi-final. And it's expected that over 100,000 fans will descend upon the city to watch their heroes battle it out.
The first match at Emirates Old Trafford is on June the 16th when India take on Pakistan. Ollie Thorpe, Salford Now.
In rugby union, Sale Sharks are warming up for their biggest game of the season. We sent our reporter Will Dixon to the AJ Bell Stadium.
Sale Sharks are in action here tomorrow at the AJ Bell Stadium as they welcome Irish side Connaught in their European Challenge Cup quarter-final. Steve Diamondside will be looking to bounce back after they lost to the Newcastle Falcons 22-17 at St James's Park last weekend. Connaught won their last fixture 29-14 against Benetton Trenevento in the Guinness Pro 14. This will be their 3rd encounter in Europe this season, with Connaught winning the fixture in Ireland, but Sale will be hoping for a repeat of the victory they had here at the AJ Bell Stadium back in October.
Well, Tom, that's your lot from Old Trafford, where Ollie is going to be at the wheel for a good while longer.
And finally, Salford's Indian Society took to main campus in order to celebrate the Hindu festival of Holi. Renee McIntosh has more.
Salford Indian Society, along with many people across the globe, this week celebrated the Festival of Holi, known as the Festival of Colours. This festival is an occasion to see Hindus create bonfires and cover each other in rainbow powders.
There's a lot of Asians in Salford. Everyone knows about India and stuff, but they don't see it every day. So what we are making a point here is to show everyone our culture. A lot of Asians who walk around and they don't know about it, they just get to know about more than just, you know, reading on internet how it is, because there's a lot of people who are doing it for the first time here.
Me, being one of those taking part in Hollyfest for the first time, I wanted to know, does the powder stain?
I mean, once you shower and actually swab it all out and everything, it's fine, but I brought wipes just in case.
So I've had so much fun. I mean, I'm absolutely covered. I don't know how I'm going to get this out, but do you know what? I've experienced something new.
And that's all we've got time for today. Make sure to tune in on Facebook and Twitter for all the latest at Salford Now. And from all of us here at Ravenclaw, have a great weekend. Goodbye.